Hello everybody, this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com, and it is time for my card club to meet again. And I kind of have this concept floating around in my head, and I'm going to try it for the first time on camera, and if it doesn't work, I do have a backup plan. But I want to show you, I just got this new set. I had never seen this set before from Tim Holtz Visual Artistry from Stampers Anonymous, and I had to go to the city yesterday, and I was walking by a rack and I found this, and I think this is one of my favorite Tim Holtz sets that I have. This has this real abstract kind of floral here on the side, and then a butterfly and a heart, and the saying says, "When I want to see love defined, I look at you." That's what this one says. This one says, "True friendship is seen through the heart, not through the eyes." And I just absolutely loved this stamp set. This flower, a few weeks ago I tried to do a stamping off technique, and I really didn't have the stamps that I wanted to do it with, and this one I've already kind of played with this last night to see if it would work, and so I'm going to have fun with this. If I don't like it, no harm no foul, but I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to be using this flower. My stamp club this month, the theme is congratulations or graduation, and I didn't really have that I know of. I didn't really have any congratulations stamps, and so I picked up this stamp from, or this set, All Your Greetings from Fiskars, and it has a congratulations on there and has a lot of other things, but I'm going to use that as well. So let's get started, and I'm going to explain my madness. Now I have just a very simple 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock that I folded at 4 1/4 to make the card. So I've got a 4 1/4 and 5.5 card. And then I have this masking tape. Now I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try to make a 1-layer card. And I just want to see if I can make this card and really make it pop just by using inks and stamps. So what I'm going, and sprays. So what I'm going to do is I have this piece of masking tape, and I am going to mask because I love putting ribbon on my cards, but I want to see if I can do it without putting a ribbon on it. If I am able to and I like the results, I'm actually going to be entering this card in the Less is More challenge. The current challenge right now is 1-layer cards, and so I've got that lined up. And then what I'm going to do is I have my spray box here, and I'm going to put my card inside the spray box, and I have this shimmering heavy metal shimmers paints that I've already kind of mixed up. Let me finish getting it mixed up here. And I'm just going to spray the whole card. I don't have any masking paper, and so that's why I'm using the masking tape. I actually would have preferred to have the whole card white and just masked the square, but since I didn't have masking tape, I couldn't really do that. So I'm just going to pull that out very quickly because I don't want that masking tape to sit on there for too long. Yeah, and the masking tape's too much, so I'm going to have to find something else to work with. However, I do think that this is going to work. So let me find some different tape or a different way to do this, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and I'm actually kind of bummed because I just completed the card and realized I hadn't turned the camera back on. So let me recap what I've done, and then I'm going to show you again kind of what I did, and then I'll show you the 2 outcomes that I had. I'm going to clean my stamp while I'm talking here. So what I ended up doing is I went and I pulled out my Xyron 950, which I've had for years and years and years, and I happen to still have a card, cartridge that's repositionable adhesive. So what I did is I took a 4 1/4 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and I trimmed it. And what I did is I trimmed off, I trimmed down, I actually didn't even measure it, but let me measure it real quick. So that's the 4 1/4. I trimmed down part way, and basically what I wanted is I wanted about a 3/4 inch strip out of it. So I trimmed down part way. These would all fit kind of like this normally on the paper, like so. And so I trimmed off the pieces, and then I used them on my card bases to mask. And what I did is on one of them I took the strip and I just mounted it across like this, and that was one. And then on the second one, and that's the one I'm going to finish up the card with you, I took the top and the bottom. Actually, this is the one I'm going to finish up, and I'll show you the effect of this. And then what I did is I took the top and the bottom and I left a space, and I'll show you that completed card in just a minute because I really like the way that turned out. So let's get back to this one. So what I did is I also put a little bit of repositionable adhesive on the inside of the card so that it wouldn't pop open while I was spraying it. And so then I sprayed it with my mist and I heat dried it. And then I took my congratulations stamp from that new Fisker stamp and I stamped it in the middle. Now this card is definitely going to end up being a practice card because it did not stamp very cleanly. Have to get the hang of that stamp a little bit. But at the end of the video you'll see a completed card like this that will look right. So I stamped that in the blank space. And then what I did is I'm going to take now my Tim Holtz, that stamp that I love so much, and I am going to stamp that in red. And I want to really, really make sure that it's inked very well because I want a good, strong red impression. This is Fired Brick from Tim Holtz, and I really want a strong red impression on my card. So I'm just going to kind of center it kind of how I want it, just by eyeballing it. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to stamp that, making sure. I sometimes have trouble stamping large images. Maybe you don't, but I do. And so I just want to make sure that it's stamped really well. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off my stamp, make sure I get all that Fired Brick off, because then I'm going to stamp it again with a different color. So that's where the Forest Moss comes in. And again, I want to make sure that it is stamped really, really, I want to be sure I don't miss any of those little dots. There's lots of little detail in this stamp, and I want to be sure I don't miss them. So I'm going to stamp this really, really well, make sure the stamp is inked really well. However, I do not want that dark of a stamp to show through. So what I'm going to do is I have a piece of scratch paper over here on the side, and I am going to just stamp it off there with a good impression, and then I'm going to go back over. Now there is no way I would be able to line this back up, and that's really okay because I don't want it to be exactly lined up, otherwise I'm afraid the colors will get muddied. I want it to look more like a shadow of the green, just like that. Isn't that pretty? Just so simple. This you could use for Christmas too if you wanted to, but just a simple congratulations card on there. Let me clean my stamp and then I'll show you what I did to finish off the card. Now, lest you worry that this one's going to waste, I will actually use it because this is for my card club. I will actually use this as the mask, and I'll just cut it apart and use it for my masking. But what I'm doing to finish it off is I'm just going to take a little bit of stitching with my black zig pen and just stitch it across. And that will really make you see that it's a separate area, and it'll kind of make that champagne color that's on the top and bottom show out more. So there we have it, a very simple card. Now I will be making some more of these, and like I said, I'll show you at the end of the video the ones that aren't all blurry. But I want to show you the other one that I made, and I really like this one. It's so simple. It says congratulations. Now this is the one where I just put the white on top and bottom, and so then the only amount of color is right in that champagne colors in the middle here, and then the congratulations stamp beautifully. And it's just such a simple card. I took my corner rounder, my 3/8 inch corner rounder, and rounded the edges there. Isn't that pretty? Just so simple, so easy, and yet so pretty. So thanks for watching and have a great day. Okay, so I got the cards finished up, and I just wanted to let you know of some changes I made. Instead of going on the white cardstock that I had, I pulled my Vintage Cream from Paper Tray ink, and I really like the way it just adds that simple elegance. You can still see the spray only slightly in there. You can see it a little bit better on the ones that sprayed the whole top. But and then I made some purple and some red ones. Now this particular purple is from Stampin' Up, and it is called Rich Razzleberry, and I still use the Dusty Moss behind it, and I really like that purple on it. And then this particular purple is just my Dusty Concord from Tim Holtz Distress Ink. So I kind of played and decided which one I wanted, and now that I see them both together, initially I thought I liked the Dusty Concord better, but now that the Razzleberry, but the more I look at it, the more I like the Dusty Concord better. I think it just kind of blended together a little bit better. The red, I also did some red ones with the brick, fired brick from Tim Holtz Distress, but I just really like the way that these turned out on the Vintage Cream cardstock. It just gives that little bit of extra elegance using the richer heavier cardstock. So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching and have a great day.